Hold on. All right, we are recording. All right, folks, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It is the fourth quarter of the year, and typically in the fourth quarter of the year, what we like to do is start planning for next year. Folks, what we're going to be talking about today is what I believe the most important lesson in real estate. I don't think your real estate business succeeds unless you have this in place, to be honest with you. And it all deals with, what the hell is your brand? Like, how many people don't know what the fuck their brand is? It's insane. Like, how do you not know what your brand is? Can you imagine me starting a taco restaurant and not naming it? That's essentially what you're doing when you don't know what your brand is. So let's get on into it. We're going to dig down deep. We're going to discover how the hell do you figure this out, why it's so important. And once you do, how you actually make this whole marketing thing a lot fun. Stop chasing leads, start attracting them, and it's a lot of fun. So let me get right on into it. Now, I want to start off by saying I don't think this is a hard business in per se the actual practice of it. What I think is hard is the getting the clients. And I think, honestly, that's why 87% of newly licensed agents fail after 5 years. And the reason why I believe that number is so freaking high is for what we're going to talk about today. And I'll explain as we go through today. Now, in any business, if you want any business to succeed, I don't care what it is, tacos, real estate, construction, you have to first, before you start a marketing plan, you need to dig down deep in the hood and you got to figure out who the hell, what drives sales, and who the hell buys your stuff, right? So let's go through those numbers first for real estate agents. Now, I don't make these stats up. I just follow the numbers, and that's all I've ever done in my entire career. And what you're looking at is a chat from National Association of Realtors that showed the percentage of buyers, where the buyers found their agents, and all of that fun stuff. So let's break down what this chart says. So here's where sales really come from for the vast majority of us. Now, I'm not talking, there's some guys and some cats out there, I'm friends with a lot of them, that absolutely murder online leads. They do great at it, but it's not the most of us, all right? They are running a very highly skilled operation and they deserve all of it. Most of us aren't quite at that point, but these are the numbers, folks. 51% of those buyers came from the form of referrals. 12% came in repeat business. 3% came from strategic alliances like lender referrals, realtor to realtor referrals, relocation company referrals. 10% from the fucking signage in front of the house. That's amazing. 4% from open houses, right? You walk on in, you meet them. Look at this. Add these numbers up, folks. What is it add up to? 80% of closed transactions with buyers came from people you already knew or that you personally met, period, okay? Now, if 80% of buyers found their agents through personal interactions, why the hell are, why are you focusing on online lead generation? You don't have personal reactions on online lead generation, right? Why are you buying a bunch of Zillow leads? What I'm trying to say, none of that stuff is wrong. What I'm trying to get to today is to show you where business really comes from. And I don't believe marketing your business is hard. It's really not. It takes a few things to have. And this entire webinar is about how to use your personal brand to create that strong local presence amongst your database and local community. So the question is, are you marketing the wrong audience? If you're frustrated right now and you're like, fuck, this real estate business sucks, it's so damn hard. Well, maybe that's because you're doing the wrong thing. Maybe you listened to the last guru that you went to a seminar and they told you to go get a bunch of likes on your page, or they told you to go run a bunch of Facebook traffic, but yet you don't have a freaking website to set up a retargeting audience. Or maybe you just bought the newest, dopest website, but you're not driving traffic to it. Great, it's not gonna do anything for you. What if you're running the scripts and you're just cold calling people like, hey, yeah, what's up? What's up? Hey, how does that feel? Or let's go after the very people that freaking hate us the most, for sale by owners. Or let's get the super duper autoresponder. Let's put them on a bunch of turn back the clock email drips and I'm going to be rich. Folks, are you marketing the wrong audience? If 80% of business came from the people you know, none of these solutions right here dial into any of that. And that's what I'm getting at today. You see, when you have a strong personal brand, it makes it easy to market your database and local community, all without really even having to talk about real estate. These are the numbers I want you to know. These are the numbers every real estate agent needs to know. I believe this whole business is a popularity contest. For the most part, I'm not saying you have to prospect. Truth is, you need to be doing a little bit of both. But once you start doing what I'm talking about, you stop the peaks and valleys go away, I guess. Your consistency plays, stability, all that stuff takes effect Because the numbers are very simple. This is mathematics. I look at it the same way. This is not theory. I'm not guessing. These are the numbers. 10 to 15% of the population moves each and every year. Now, I want you to think about that. If 10 to 15% of the population moves each and every year, what does that mean? That means 10 to 15% of the people you know are moving. The question is, do they know what the hell you do? At the same time, 100% of the people you know, or 100% of the population, they know at least one person who's moving. Remember the stats I just showed you? 51% of buyers found their agent in the form of referral. Folks, you market your database for the freaking referrals, not the direct business. But let me break down the numbers, and I'll come back to that in just a second. Now, I believe it's a popularity contest. One of my mentors once told me, hey, Mike, if you want to double your business, double your database. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. I think I'm going to do that. I did that, and I doubled my business. So the question is this. If you have 100 people of them that you're consistently marketing to, statistically, last year, Melissa Data reported that 14.19% of the U.S. population moved. So let's just use those stats. If you have 100 people that you're consistently marketing to, about 14 of them are moving. Let's just say 10 to 15 of them are moving. Now, the average agent only does 6 sides per year. That's why this is just mind-boggling to me. It's like you only do 6 sides a year. All you got to do is get half of those people, but let's just keep going. Now, if I double the size of the people of my database, so the people that really know what I do, what I like to say consistently market to, safe to say I could double my potential business or my opportunities, and that's what we're talking about. What we're talking about is simple farming, but farming the relationships you have in life and not a bunch of strangers. You see, where I think most agents fail is they look at marketing their database the wrong way. What we're talking about when we're saying market your database is you don't market your database for their direct business. You do it for the referral business. If you happen to get their direct business, then great, but don't count on it. Who cares? The direct business is just a byproduct of that. If you market your database for referrals primarily, that should be the primary goal, which should be the motivation for you to want to grow it exponentially. Now, you market their database because 100% of them know someone who's moving they could introduce direct business to. And getting their direct business is just the gravy on top. It is not the primary reason we do this. That's a very important distinction to make. Let's compare it to direct mail farming. It's sort of like direct mail farming, but the difference is in direct mail farming, here's what you typically do. You go out, you find a neighborhood, maybe you get 500 doors. Great. You commit to a 12-month campaign. What happens? You send out one postcard a month. It goes boom, lands on the person's front door, and it keeps showing up every month. Now, if you did that campaign for 9 months and then you decide to quit because you got too lazy or you want to take a quarter off, you shot the whole campaign in the foot. That consistency is what builds your brand. But the difference between this and then what I'm talking about is that direct mail farming a bunch of strangers, you're playing the turnover game. You're going after turnover. You're hoping that X amount of these people are going to move per year, and then they're going to call you because they see you and you establish market presence. What I'm saying is sort of the same, but a little bit opposite. I'm saying that market your database because you don't get a bunch of referrals from people you've never met before. The same reason why you don't refer your friends to a restaurant you've never tasted the food at. If you did, you're a dick. This is why your brand matters. All right. 4%, only 4% of people said, I want to work with that agent because they work at the ABC brokerage. No one gives a crap at the company you're affiliated with. Maybe in the super duper luxury type size properties. Awesome. I love it. But that's not the majority of us. Okay. Let's be real. 96% of consumers said, I'm going to work with that agent because I like the agent. They don't care what flag you hang behind you. I don't think the brokerage you work at is going to make or break your bottom line in most cases. At the end of the day, people do business with agents they know, they like, they trust, but only when you're freaking remembered. Of course, your friends and family will send you a lot of clients in business. The problem is they don't know what the hell you do. The real problem is this, I think. It's like, and tell me if you guys can relate to this. Like, and if you have questions, go ahead, ask them. But this is the real problem. It's like, how the hell do I keep my brand in front of my database so I'm not forgotten? Okay. What do I send them? How do I nurture a transaction after closing? Look at it. Listen to the stat. Last year, I forget what company reported this, but last year they stated that after 6 months, 80% of buyers forgot the agent's name. All right, folks, we're running in a referral-dominated business. How can you be referred if people don't even know your name? Like, dude, you got to stay in touch with your past clients. That's your lead source. Those are the lead sources. Transactional brokers will go and sell someone a house, and then they'll freaking disappear. Brokers that are paying the long game will sell someone a house and they'll show up each and every month and they'll keep in front of them. They'll keep adding value to them. They'll become friends. They'll establish a relationship. That's the difference, folks. So all of this revolves about you having a brand, because you're like, Mike, what the fuck are you talking about? You need a brand? Dude, people buy and sell real estate with people they like, but you have to be remembered, okay? You cannot be that arrogant and think that, oh my God, my whole network knows what I do for a living. The truth is they don't. They don't even remember what you do for a living. And it sucks to say that. I wish everyone thought about me all the time too, but they don't, folks. And that's just the absolute truth. You see, when you build a strong personal brand, it's what other people say about you. It's your persona. It's everything. But it's your visual branding, and the content you create is how they actually remember you. And the reason why that is so important is because visual communication is processed through your human dome 60,000 times faster than text or verbal communication. That's a mathematical fact. So what you see and how you say it and impact is very, very, very important. So let me explain, and let's take this outside of the real estate arena. And I want to share with you a story that happened to me. It all deals with branding when I landed in San Diego. So before I got here, I didn't know that San Diego was the largest brewery capital, or per brewery capital in the United States. I was like, sweet. I like beer. I'm a craft brew beer type of person. And when I landed here, I was like, wow, there's so many different freaking beers all over the place. This is awesome. So I slowly started trying them all. And the first beers that I decided to choose had the best branding. I was picking up all these like cool, like, the logos and the branding and the packaging. Like, have you ever seen Shark Tank? I watched it last night, and on Shark Tank, what they're talking about is, I love the packaging. I love the packaging. They love the branding. And the reason why that's so important is because it's the first impression. All right. And a good first impression is a lasting impression. Needless to say, with branding, I decided to go, I exhausted all the beers and I finally got through all of them. But the ones I ended up towards the end of my beer journey were the ones that had the most boring labels. It was like, didn't even have a label. It said like beer, like Homer Simpson. And that just tells you what branding is. My eyes, and I was drawn to something else. And more importantly, I was remembering it. Now, let's switch this. For those of you that have kids, if you look at all the cereals on the screen right here, all these cereals basically contain bad ingredients for your kids. They're all sugar. They're basically all the same ingredients, but if you look at it from the outset, it looks like there's 8 different flavors or 8 different boxes of cereals. No, there's 8 different brands of the same shit. It's all the same manufacturer. Like, my kid doesn't like Frosted Flakes. She likes Tony the Tiger. My kid doesn't like Fruit Loops. They like this stupid bird that's on the box, right? That is branding, folks. Okay. So I want you to think about that and how that ties into your actual real estate business. Now, let's bring it down into real estate with that example. And branding and marketing and database is all about impact. It's about top of mind brand awareness. So I've always known that in business, and I rebranded in my career probably 3 times. And before I left Chicago, this was my last brand I was actually in, and it was called Chicago Real Estate Dude. Hence, I'm a dude. I'm a real estate marketing dude. It's just who I am. Okay. But which is more memorable? Look, which one has more impact when you see this? Now, if I'm doing a Facebook Live video, those of you that are watching on Facebook, you can see I have my branding in the back, because I always keep my branding in the back, so I don't have to tell you what I do. You can sort of see it. It's very, very important to do. Now, again, this is all about impact. I know that people are going to relate to the left. They're going to remember the left a lot more than remember the right. Mike Cuevas is just a person. Chicago Real Estate Dude is my brand. Yes, they are one and the same, but I differentiate them for marketing and running a business. Same thing. A lot of people ask me, Cuevas, why'd you get the cartoon? That's so unprofessional. Yeah, everyone told me it was unprofessional like 9 years ago. I think I might have been one of the first people to get a cartoon. And I'm like, because that cartoon generates a lot more calls than that dude. All right. I was looking for impact, top of mind brand awareness. I want everyone to remember and know who I am and what I do when they hear the word real estate. And the way you do that is through consistently showing up and doing a lot of things that no one else is doing. So marketing your brand is about impact. This is not about lead generation. And I think that's the other difference here, is that we're not fighting for leads. We're fighting for the attention of our audience. All right. And I want you to, think about, when I'm actually performing a marketing test, I'm always thinking about how many people I'm going to reach, how many people are going to see my message. And that's my only goal. Again, it's all about impact. It's all about generating leads and generating the attention of the audience. Ultimately, it's about being everywhere all the time. So let me show you my little, my plan. This isn't really a plan. I just sort of ripped it off from Bed Bath & Beyond and Bye Bye Baby. But marketing your brand, what I would do is I'd market Chicago Real Estate Dude. The very first lesson in this is that you have to realize you're a brand. You can't, if you're going to go start up a retail shop or a clothing line or makeup line, whatever the hell your interests are, wouldn't that be a brand? So why aren't you? This is the first distinction. This is lesson number one. You have to recognize your real estate business as a brand. And I know it feels weird. It feels extremely weird. Be like, I'm a brand? No, I'm a person. Like I bleed. Like what the hell? I'm not a brand. No, you're a brand. The Real Estate Marketing Dude's a brand. As long as you have a business and you look at it as a brand, it becomes easier to market it. But let's just look at what my marketing plan was. Very simple. Now, what I would do is I set up a direct mail list of everyone I would invite to my wedding or funeral. Anyone that I thought I would be pissed off to learn about them, if I logged on Facebook and I saw them holding keys with another agent, fuck yeah, they're going to be on my direct mail list. I want to make sure I show up every time. I'm going to farm those people instead of farming a bunch of strangers I've never met before, because all of those people can refer me one deal per year. And all of those people, 10 to 15% of those people are moving. I'm playing the smart game. I don't want to work hard. I want to work smart. Now, that was only one channel. I can't mathematically assume that I'm going to automatically get all of my direct mail addresses. That's not true. But I take on a multi-channel approach because I want to be everywhere all the time. My second channel is my Facebook, right? My social media channels, my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, wherever the hell I'm connected with friends. But just know that I post more frequently on those channels because all of them have algorithms associated with. So I take on a little bit different of an approach. My last is email. I use video email. I consistently market my database through video email with content we create, local community content. We do a lot of video. So when you do that and you follow those steps, really what you're doing is you're just everywhere all the time and you're just constantly reminding people of your existence. Now, your brand will dial in your messaging so you don't have to talk about real estate. And that's the importance of it. I think the biggest problem people have marketing their database is that it feels slimy. It feels slimy when you're sending slimy shit. Like you shouldn't have to like think about what you're going to send your database. Like I just freaking do it because I treat my database the same way I treat anyone I have a personal relationship with. Now, your brand is your personality. I want you to go back. I want you to look at the last 10 clients or 5 clients if you're newer in the business, whatever the number is. Look at the last set of clients you've closed. And did you realize that they all became your beer drinking buddies, dudes, or all you women in the crowd right now? Maybe they became your wine drinking gal pals and you guys went out and did your nails together. Whatever the hell it is you do, we became friends with them. The vast majority of real estate agents end up befriending their clients. And folks, that's because you attract like people. That shit is not done on accident. We all attract like people. The Real Estate Marketing Dude or Chicago Real Estate Dude did not attract people over the age of 50. I could promise you that. That did not attract attorneys. He did not attract doctors. He was a dude. I had nothing in common with those people. But you know who I did attract? A bunch of other dudes and dudettes. And I was just speaking to them because I was connecting to them. All right. A lot of times realtors always say, well, I'm going to piss off that person or I'm not going to resonate that. Listen, the jack of all trades is the master of none. And once you realize that and you really dial in your message, you're better off speaking and resonating with less people than you are trying to be the jack of all trades to everyone because you resonate with 0 of them. And that's a really important point that I want to make. And the reason why I didn't care is because everyone lives somewhere. Every single person is a future client in my eyes. It's not a matter of if they're going to move. It's a matter of when they're going to move. That's really all it is. But just know that your brand is supposed to be about you. If you want to be a dude, go be a fucking dude. If you want to be if you want to go out and be like the best super duper real estate mom or dad in the world, go out and be that person. Be whoever you want to be and speak directly to that audience and drop the sales bullshit. Honestly, people connect personally with people way more than they do professionally in today's day and age. I think social media has a lot to do with that. And a lot of times we're always tiptoeing around like, oh, is this going to be okay if I say that? Screw it. Do it. Come out. Get out of your shell. Make it easy to be referred. You see, the only goal here is connecting authentically. Authenticity is what this is all about, folks. You want your friends to say, that is so you. So let's give an example of a couple different brands here about where we take a personal personality and build a brand out of it. So let me tell you about, if you could see my mouse on the screen right here, I want you to look at this top logo on the left. This is an agent. I just absolutely love her. Her name is Monique, and she's in the San Diego market. And when we got into Monique's backstory, what we ended up finding out was that Monique came to San Diego on spring break, and she just never left. It was like 15 years ago. So she just fell in love with the city, just stayed here, sort of loves hanging out on the beach, total local. But if you look at what her brand is, Mo Homes, great. Living It Up San Diego is her whole brand's based upon living it up, because that's who she is. She loves bucket list San Diego type of experiences. As a matter of fact, she actually just started a video marketing campaign where she's exploring the town of San Diego, interviewing business owners, and she's sharing bucket list type of living it up San Diego experiences that everyone needs to know about. It's a very cool show, and she's doing very well with it. The second brand you see right here is Homes by Hazel. See, Hazel, if you could see, it's a little faded because it's a light logo, but it's dumbbells. And Hazel is not a real estate agent. She's a bodybuilder that happens to sell houses. Hazel provides a financially fit real estate experience. Now, why financially fit? What? Well, she's a bodybuilder. She works out. Her whole thing's about fitness. She attracts a bunch of fitness people. So why the hell is she can go talk to a bunch of surfers, right? She is just being her. It's just who she is. Let's go to Evan Campbell. Evan Campbell used to be a watch dealer, high-end watch dealer. This guy's got like a gemologist type of degree. His passion is in the jewelry line and the diamonds and all of that crap. And what we did with this branding is we brought in his whole watch and the logo into it. But his brand is all about time. Timing is everything. So we're in the world of creating content. What kind of content could Timing is Everything create? Best time to sell a house. Best time to buy a house. Best time to go trick-or-treating. Best time to go Christmas shopping and which mall to go at without waiting in line for 3 hours. Best time to go cut in line and sit on Santa's lap or the Easter Bunny's lap, right? When you crack your theme and you understand what you stand for, marketing your business becomes so easy because you take that theme and you apply to everything. Let's go down here to the Real Estate Marketeer. It's an agent in Florida. And Real Estate Marketeer is a digital marketer. He's actually a Facebook ads guy. And he used to, he got sick of sending leads to real estate agents who couldn't close them. So he decided to get his license. And because he's a marketer, he's taking an outside the box approach to real estate. So the content that he creates is outside the box. His brand is built on being outside the box or being different than the traditional agent. And that's why it's so powerful. Now, he could go out and create a marketing or a business interview series called Outside the Box, Pompano Beach. And Outside the Box is all about other businesses and disruptors in the industry that are also doing things outside the box. His closing gift will probably be something that's outside the box. You see, when you know your brand, you adapt it to every single thing you do. It doesn't stop. You could do this with mortgage lenders. You could do this with title reps, insurance reps. Folks, this isn't a real estate thing. This is a personal branding thing. It doesn't matter what business you're in. And here is the number one concept that this all revolves around. And you have to understand, if you're going to take notes, this is what I want you to understand most today, because what we're really talking about is the concept of building an audience out of your database with using your strong personal brand. And let me distinct the two differences here. A database is nothing more than a collection of contact information. A lot of times agents will come to us and be like, yeah, I got a database. Great. Where's it at? It's on an Excel spreadsheet. Great. It's worth nothing. All right. A database is just a collection of contact info, email addresses, direct mail addresses, you name it. It's not valuable without having a relationship with it, which is really only created when there's consistent communication. You know, if you go back, I go back to my college days and, you know, I lost touch, with the exception of Facebook. I lost touch with a lot of my old friends and whatnot. And we all do as we grow older and have kids and whatnot. But my relationship has dwindled since that time because I've lost touch with them. I've lost communication with them. That's why consistent communication for any relationship is absolutely necessary. Now, the difference of having an audience or transforming your audience or your database into an audience is that this is a collection of relationships that actually know who you are. And when you send an email or you do a video or you do something, they actually pay attention to what you have to say. You own attention in their minds, okay? That's the difference. And what we're going to be showing you is basically the same marketing plan I showed you. When you appear up everywhere all the time, you start earning that attention in their minds, and that's what we're fighting for. When people hear the word real estate, they instantly think of your brand or your name. That's what marketing is. So I want to go to another example to take us out of real estate just so you can see how other businesses are doing it, because what we're doing is no differently than what every business does. We're just doing it in real estate. The formula is identical. It's how virtually almost every business I know is how they market their brands. So let's go through an example here. Bye Bye Baby, or we'll use Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, I'm pretty sure it's the same company, but if not, their marketing plan is identical, and you have two totally different brands, two totally different audiences. Now, I'll give the Bye Bye Baby or the Bed Bath & Beyond, I'll give them both examples as we go. But both companies realize that what actually drives sales is not new customer acquisition, it's marketing, it's repeat business and referral sales. It's very similar to the real estate business. And it's the same thing happened in Zappos. If you read, I forget the name of the Zappos books. The guys have them all over the office here, but the Zappos books really have the same principle. And what they found out was that they pulled all of their advertising dollars and they started to invest into their past clients and to their past customers. And what they found was that that's what was generating 75% of new sales. And that's why you're seeing such a big customer service push. Folks, this exact same thing is going on in the real estate industry. Just so many people don't see it yet because you're too far in the weeds. But on a macro perspective, this is exactly what's happening. Now, Bye Bye Baby or Bed Bath & Beyond, their marketing plan focuses around giving a 20% off coupon. And what happens is that this 20% coupon, if you shop at any of these places, they follow you everywhere, okay? Now, the very first example I'm going to give you is down here on the bottom, and this is the 20% off direct mail coupon. Now, the 20% off direct mail coupon, what it does is that I get one like once every 2 weeks, all right? And it just constantly shows up. I'm talking to you about Bye Bye Baby because of the coupon. Tell me their marketing is not working. I'm advertising it to you guys right now. So they're constantly all over me so that I know about it, right? Now, every time we go to Bye Bye Baby or Bed Bath & Beyond, we never carry the fucking coupon in our pockets. What do? We go right to our email and we scan the emails for them to pull up the coupon so we can get our 20% off discount, right? It's almost like the direct mail reminds me to go to the store, but I always forget the coupon. And when I get to the checkout counter, I go up there and then I just get the email receipt, or I look at my email and I find the coupon and boom, and they scan it. Now, after I leave the store, they go, would you want that receipt sent to your email? I'm like, no, because I don't want you to retarget me on Facebook, but most of you say yes. And what happens is then they take your email address and now they start following you all over. I start seeing Bed Bath & Beyond and baby shit everywhere. Now, what they're doing is they're just being everywhere all the time. Folks, I'm talking about doing the exact same thing in your real estate business. And when you break the formula down, it's really simple. You take a business, this is your real estate business, you set up distribution channels, you build a social media list, you upload your Facebook, you upload your email, your cell phone contacts to Facebook's business page as a custom audience. You farm your relationships digitally through there. You create an email list of the people you'd invite to your wedding and or funeral. And you upload that and you create consistent content. You hit them 1 to 2 times a month. You set up an automated direct mail campaign and you hit them at least once a month, all right? You put it in front of your audience. Your audience is the relationships you have in life. People do business with agents they know, like, and trust. So don't worry so much on building a 1,000-person freaking list. Worry on building 100 of quality contacts. This is not about quantity. It's all about quality. And once you keep doing that consistently, people share your name because of the statistics I showed you out earlier. 10 to 15% of the population moves. 100% of them know someone who's moving. This is mathematical math. The only time this doesn't work is if the people on your list don't like you. And if that's the case, you have the wrong database or you're in the wrong business. So your audience, in our case as real estate agents, is your database of relationships. It's the people that are in your phone. It's the people that are connected on your Facebook feed. It's the email list. It's your LinkedIn contacts. It's anyone that you freaking know or know of that you would expect to call you to buy or sell a house, or you would expect to get the referral business. But you have to be remembered, okay? It's top of mind. Brand awareness is everything. Now, once you start doing this, you're going to generate the 2 sales. We talked about this briefly, but let's dig a little bit deeper. Direct sales, obviously, let me ask you a question. If you started emailing your database, video emailing them cool local business community content, stuff they're actually interested, no turn back the clock emails, and you emailed your database 24 times a year, would you do a few more transactions per year? Now, let me ask you a second one. If you took a direct mail list of, let's just take your wedding list, for example, and you put them on direct mail and the direct mail started going to them once a month and it just did it naturally, you didn't have to worry about, would you do more business this year? And then if you also started posting consistently and started sharing your daily real estate story on social media or creating video content like we're doing on social media, would you do more business? And I'm telling you, the answer is yes. The only time this doesn't work is simply if the people that are seeing your shit don't like you. And I'm sorry, that's just the way it works. The difference is this, folks. Real estate's exciting because everyone's a potential client. and everyone has the ability to refer you, but they can only do it when you're on top of mind. So I want to break down the value of each relationship we have in life. And I always valued all my relationships. Sorry, Facebook friends, you guys are all worth, or when I was in Chicago, you guys are all worth $25,000 to $50,000 each. But the reason why I said that is because I know the average house's individual buys is 2 to 5 properties over the course of their lifetime. Now, I'm playing the long game. Are you? Because when I sell someone a house, I'm not celebrating that win. I'll celebrate that win when they give me a referral and I sold them 3 more. The sales and the transactions that you occur in today's market are only stepping stones to the next. And that's the difference between playing the long game and the short-term game. The immediate money, great. That's nothing. That's peanuts when you look at the actual long-term value of this, because every single person is going to move multiple times or switch properties. Now, let's just say someone bought 5 properties at the average sale price of $200,000. That's $25,000. Now, I don't think you could put a value on relationships, though, because one relationship can refer you one person who could open up the same scenario to you. One relationship can refer you. I've had one client refer me like 3 or 4 people. That relationship is probably worth $100,000, and that's just in a 12-month time frame. So what I'm getting at is that you don't know. You have to be disciplined in building your lists, your relationship lists, and establishing new ones. I believe you should be out there kissing babies and shaking hands every day of the week, because that's always where the business ends up coming from. If you notice that, you'll spend 25 hours trying to crack an email autoresponder, Facebook ad, super duper lead generation tied into a text message autoresponder, and then crack the code to the new Facebook marketing ad strategy. Or you could just go to a bar and talk to 10 fucking people and do the same thing and walk away with a fucking client. That's what I'm talking about. Now, the numbers are the same. People move every 6 to 9 years. Look at your market stats. Ask your broker, ask your friends, ask your family, ask your colleagues. What is the number? What is the amount of time people actually move? And if you have 100 people in your database, your audience, and know what the hell you do, how many of them are moving? All right, out of those same people, how many of them can they refer you to? Folks, that's all this is. None of this stuff is rocket science. It's just about building an audience and making a giant popularity contest. Have you ever noticed when you were in high school? I remember in high school, I used to be the big party guy. I used to always have the parties. My parents go out of town, and I'd throw a party, throw a couple kegs in the basement. And I was always the cool kid, I guess, on campus. And because I had the parties, I was cool, and I had some street cred, right? Well, it's the same thing with this. Like, you start creating content, you start creating media around your brand, you start earning that street cred. I've seen a lot of similarities. That's funny. But remember this is important. It's not, don't assume everyone knows what the hell you do for a living, because they don't. I promise you this, okay? Even your best friends, the people closest to you, don't really even know what you do for a living. A lot of them don't. They might know you're in real estate, but do they really know you survive off referrals? Do they really know how much one referral does for your business? Do they really know what your day-to-day looks like? Do they know you do residential sales? Do they know what side of town you work on? Do they know what type of demographic you work with? Do they know what you specialize in? Are you in condos? Are you in new construction? There's a lot of, don't take these assumptions. It's super duper important. But it's not their job to refer you business. It's your job to remind them to. Don't forget that. Write that down. It's your job to remind them to. The thing is that your friends and family actually want to refer you business. So we're going to go through the psychology about referrals in a second. But don't confuse this. This is not lead generation. This is name brand recognition. When someone thinks of real estate, I want them to think of my brand. That's it. Now, how it works is this. You have to understand the psychology. And once you get this, it should all click. Now, let's break this down. When someone refers someone real estate, what really happens? Like, why do people refer people anything? And for those of you who are tuning on Facebook right now, I want you to go ahead and ask for a plumber, or ask for an electrician, or ask for a painter, or ask for a mechanic. I don't care what you ask for. You're going to get 5, 10, 20 freaking referrals. And it's going to be weird. You're going to be like, like I'm on the West Coast, so it's 9:30 here. But mostly everyone's going to be at work, and all of a sudden your friends and your family, they're going to stop what they're doing, and they're going to interrupt you and give you their plumber's info. They're going to interrupt what they're doing at work and then share their carpenter's cell phone number with you. First is how the hell do they have their plumber's cell phone number on standby at work, where they stopped what they're doing at work, they logged on to Facebook, they saw my request, and then they looked up the plumber's phone number, because I doubt they had it memorized, and they actually typed it in, okay? Someone went out of their way to do that. The question is why? And if people are referring plumbers and mechanics, you don't think they're going to refer real estate agents? I want you to really, really think about that. The question you need to ask yourself is my business easily referable? Now, every time we refer a realtor, it's always because there's an ongoing conversation talking about real estate. What happens is there's a person that goes here, person goes here, hey, I'm moving, great, all right, you're moving, cool, hey, I got a guy. That's what happens. Now, the question is why do they refer you? People don't get gifts, they don't get money, they don't get awards, they don't get big shiny buttons. What the hell's in it for the referring party? People refer you because of this. It's extremely important. They like you, or they liked your service and are satisfied you in the past. So you generate referrals from people that know you and already like you, or call it friends and family, or past clients. 2, they like the person that's asking for the referral. This person's like, hey, yeah, I need a referral, I need an agent. This person, oh, you got to call my guy, right? Why does this person do that is the question. Well, this person likes this person, and they're trying to help them out. They like being able to solve a problem. Folks, it's just the way we're wired. It's the way God made us. Deep-rooted in our DNA that we like helping other people, and we're natural problem solvers. As a matter of fact, real estate agents are nothing more than problem solvers for people that have house issues, I believe. So now the second thing is that you have to remember is that when someone sends you a referral, people want to be acknowledged. We won't get into that today. That'll be in some of our training. We have a referral 6-step checklist that is awesome. I highly suggest you copy it and just implement it. But you must thank the referring party. Now, where can referrals take place? Anywhere. It's anywhere people talk. Like when I moved to San Diego, I was talking nonstop about moving to San Diego. You know how many realtor referrals I got? Moving and your living situation is highly emotional. I believe this is one of the reasons why we're such a highly based referral or high referral based business. And you know, when you're moving, it's emotional. So when things are emotional, you tend to talk about them a lot, especially when they're exciting, right? So I believe that's the main reason why people, why it's such a referable business is because there's just simply a lot more referral situations that pop up. If you think about it, like, hey, I'm moving. Oh, you got to call my guy. Like anyone who's moving asks someone for advice. And when you're making one of the largest financial decisions in your lifetime, you're going to want that from a trusted source, hence the referrals. Now, 3 things have to occur. They have to notice there's a conversation going on about real estate. They have to think of you. That's the key. Then they have to introduce you to your service. So the question comes down to this. Out of all of the people that you know, think about it from this perspective. Let's just say you know 100 people and you have 100 people that you've branded well enough that, you know, you own, when they think of real estate, you own that piece of attention in their mind. How many people are they coming across on a daily basis that are talking about real estate? Statistically, 10 to 15. Why don't you think about that? Let that sink in. Why isn't everyone doing this? Well, my database already knows what I do for a living. I don't want to bother them. People don't want to hear from me. Folks, you have to make this a constant reminder that you exist. If I stopped doing these webinars, or I stopped doing my podcast, or I stopped doing anything real estate related, my business would suffer. If you stop marketing your database, your business will suffer too. I promise you. I really hope that we can make this as common sense as possible. So what I want to do is I'm going to get some questions. I'm going to recap sort of how this all works. And then we're going to go ahead and get questions answered. And I'm going to show you guys exactly some cool shit on my site. So check this out. Here's what we're doing. And this is our advanced marketing plan for real estate now. Or any business for that is for building a brand and being everywhere all the time. So I want to repeat what we started with earlier. Start creating content. Start creating video content is my advice. Why? Because it's more engaging. The social media platforms have already told us by investing millions and billions and millions of dollars into their platform so they could have a video experience that already should tell you something. Now, the question that I say is how many people in your market are really doing videos? And I'm not talking about the, yo, bro, check out my fucking new listing. Yeah. And the phone's shaking like this. No, screw that. I'm talking about media. I'm talking about creating media around your brand. It has nothing to do with you and simply focuses on your community, the stories of other people. See, the way to market your business, in my opinion, is never to talk about yourself. It's to associate the stories of how you want your brand to be perceived by. And when you start creating media like that, that's exactly what happens. If I started doing a bunch of business interviews with nothing more than entrepreneurs, I'm going to become the entrepreneur dude. If I started creating a bunch of, videos of me cooking. I don't know anything about cooking. And I started sharing it on social media. I become the celebrity chef dude. Now, if you start creating content in your real estate business about the local community, the local restaurants, this and that, you start becoming the local expert. And at the same time, you're creating social media appropriate type content that is just mimicking HGTV. And that's why they get shared so much. And again, this is all about impact. It's all about attention. There's a lot of other strategies. We can go deep in the video. We will do that in another webinar. But the point is that when you do it consistently. If you're going to go out and do something like this, great, do it. But commit to once a month. Commit to twice a month. This is no different than direct mail farming. And this is something that we absolutely do. We'd love to help you guys with that if that's something you're into. Now, the second thing I recommend doing is also setting up a direct mail channel to your database. Dude, the mailboxes today are wide open. I mean, they're wide open to grab attention from people. So my advice is to start building a direct mail list out of your wedding list. I want to share with you guys an example. When I got married, I won't go into this in deep, so we're on social, but when I got married, I took my wife's entire side of the family and I put them on my direct mail list. That direct mail list generated, I think it was like $25,000 to $32,000 worth of referrals in a 12-month period. Now, the problem was why I wasn't getting the business before was simply because my family, my wife's side of the family, looked at me as Mike, Allie's husband. They didn't look at me as Mike, badass fucking realtor is going to get you the best deal ever. And that was the difference. Once I started farming them with direct mail, like, oh shit, Mike's got his stuff together. He's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, cool. I earned their respect. I earned their trust to share my name and numbers to share my brand with their friends and family. And that's exactly what happened. So super duper important. My advice, direct mail is a great marketing strategy for database. Just do it. And it doesn't even matter what you send them. Just send them something and make sure it has nothing to do with real estate. Now, third, video email. If you're creating whatever video content you start creating, take that and start using video email. I believe everyone should be using video email to communicate with your database. And the reason is because it's a better way to communicate, period. Video has tonality, you have body language, you could see me. Like, look at this video right here, I'm looking at you. Video email, is just, as long as you have engaging creative content, people love them. And your open rates will 3 to 4 times what a traditional email would be. Please stop sending your database turn back to clock emails. Please stop sending your database automated watered down template emails, because everyone knows that it's an email that came from your boss and a system that they gave you to go ahead and plug in and just annoy and bother people. It's spam, folks. Don't spam. You can't build a brand spamming people. You could build a brand being authentically you. All right, super duper duper important. I'm going to go ahead and get to some of these questions, and I'm going to get onto my site. I'm going to show you guys a couple of cool things I want to share with you today and give you. Let me get these questions out right here. Just give me just a second, folks, while I get this set up for you. Okay. Now let's go through the questions right here. Megan, are you on the questions at all? Are you able to see them?
I can be.
All right. So what we're going to do, folks, is I'm going to show you our site. I got a couple things to give you, and I'm going to get to some questions. And when you go, our site is very simple, folks. What we do is Real Estate Marketing Dude is a content creation company. We're a video marketing company. We build websites. We're all about branding. We're all about impact. We're all about attention. So there's a lot of stuff on my site. Our main thing that we do is we do a bunch of video creation. We show people how to create videos, how to create local community content, and then we create all of that content on their website and do everything else for them. When we work with a real estate agent, we literally become their marketing dude and a part of their team. And what happens is that this is an interview process. We do not take on everyone. I'll be straight up with you. We look to plug in and be part of your team, and not to be part of your team, like run your team out, nothing to do with that. But we have to work with the right people. We will make you a local celebrity in your market, but you have to, follow the game plan, and you have to pass the interview, because we look for a certain personality type. So if you go to our site, you go ahead and check out all this different stuff on here. We have a ton of content. My advice is to you is, if you liked what you saw today, subscribe to the podcast, go through the blog. If you look at our training section, we have a training course on here that'll take you more into branding and all of this fun stuff. And it's only $29. If you want it, go ahead and get it. Totally there for you. All right, I'm gonna get to some questions. If you guys have some questions, go ahead and answer them now. And then Megan, can you check questions on Facebook if we have any on that?
Yeah, I don't see any.
So Jose asks, trying to bridge the gap of being a traditional realtor and my own investment properties. Do I market all under my realtor brand or have one for traditional real estate and one for a company? Jose, do all under one. Create something like a perfect balance. We actually have a realtor that's also a mortgage broker that we're working with now. And we had to do the same thing. But creating two means you have to create two brands, which means double the work. There's a way to dwindle that in and make it just one pretty easily because it all deals with real estate. So I would just create one and market it the same way. Just make sure the brand knows that you do both, if that answered your question. Let's see what else we got in here. All right, let's see. I'm looking through some questions. I invite people to my funeral. Yes. Good question. Like, what do you mean by inviting people to your wedding and or funeral? You want to invite people. Here's an analogy. When we pass or when we get married, there are two extremes of life. Both of them are major milestones, I'd say. One, you're going upstairs, most of us. The other, you're getting married and your life's over. So the question, the question is that, you know, the people that you'd invite to them are relationships you have intact. And if you have a wedding list, that's where I suggest you start. Anyone you'd invite to your wedding or funeral and you had an unlimited budget for both, that is who I would put on these marketing lists because that is who will refer you business. Remember that we're creating a referral marketing campaign, not a direct marketing campaign. We're doing this to generate more referrals, but you'll also generate more direct business in doing so. I hope that clears that up. Let's see. Anna says, love the stats you began with your webinar. Those come from NAR, there's a National Association of Realtors. I track a lot of these stats because, you know, obviously it's our business, we have to. But yeah, we've been trying to scream these stats forever. And when 80% of business comes from the people right in front of us, I just can't comprehend why 90% of realtors spend all their money, time, and energy on sources that equate to less than 4 or 5% of the business. It's absolutely mind-boggling. But I understand because there's a lot of gurus that are pushing products and all this stuff and all the above. Let's see. Cool. So Mike Ernest asked, what are some great tips to help someone discover what their brand is all about? Folks, feel free to contact us. You could schedule a demo with the dude. We build brands. I mean, that's what I'm really good at. I'm good at being creative and having a therapy session with an agent and figuring out who the fuck they are. I will dig the brand out of you. I will, it'll be super duper creative and it'll resonate with you. But let me give you this piece of advice. The key to the brand is don't be someone you're not, be someone you are. And don't be shy to voice it. And the truth is that God only made one of you and each one of you are unique in your own way. And you have to embrace that and enjoy it. Take what you've got. You got one life and there's only one person like you. So fucking get on top of the rooftops and scream that. That's what I'm talking about. People are going to use you or they're not. I don't think people, if you ever lost someone because of your branding, so be it. You wouldn't have liked working with them anyways. But my advice is to just keep it simple, be you, keep it authentic. I think the direction that we're headed into the real estate industry right now, branding and personal branding is going to take a huge role. And this is why, is that we're being threatened from all different types of threats, right? You have the iBuyer campaigns. You have brokerages like Purple Bricks or Purple Dicks, and brokerages that are doing flat fee services. So the challenge, I think, is that, you know, it comes down to cost savings and everyone's trying to one-up us on cost, saying that realtors are a waste of money. And if you go with a realtor, you're wasting money. I don't believe that's true, but I want to give you guys an example. And this will be why branding is so important. Marketing your personal brand establishes a connection with your audience or your database. And when you have a connection or a stronger relationship with somebody, doing business is a lot easier. Let me give you an example. You go on 2 different listing presentations, okay? First listing presentation is a online lead that came in off your home valuation site. You never met, you're just showing up to their house. The second one is a past client or a referral. Now, the first person is more likely to ask you to go to 4% or under 5% than the person that has the already existing relationship with you. You see, one of the things I've learned over the last 10 years is that people don't care what you charge. They care that you earned it. And don't forget that. we're going to have to consistently sharpen our marketing skills. We're going to have to do a lot of things we're going to have to do a lot to combat that. I mean, anything from customer service to the closing gift to picking people up. I even think in the future that you're going to have a car service to pick people up and drive them around. I mean, this is all service-based. We don't control the information anymore. So having a strong personal brand really makes it easier to connect with people. And when you connect, they're less likely to ask you for a discount. And you're more likely to win out the less expensive options that you will be going up against. Hopefully that answers your question. I think that's it. Folks, I appreciate you all tuning in today. This was a lot of fun. This is what I absolutely love doing. I've made it my life's mission. And if you need help, if you're looking for help and you want to put a real estate marketing dude on your team, I will help you. Well, one, I'll make sure your database never forgets who the hell you are. But two, you'll start attracting business. What this is all about, this is common sense. And we're really bringing back a very simple but fun way to market your business in front of the audience that matters most. What that means is less expensive, more results, and a lot of fun. Thank you very much, you guys, for listening. Feel free to message us, schedule a demo with the Real Estate Marketing Dude, subscribe to our podcast, listen to our blog, and that's it. Peace out, Facebook. See you guys later. Boop.